Dear friends, in 11th standard we are studying second chapter relations and function, and the next type of function is the modulus function. The function f from real numbers to real numbers defined by f of x is equal to absolute value of x or mod of x. This is read as mod of x or absolute value of x. Function is defined as modulus value of x, or you can say absolute value of x for each x belonging to real numbers. Here all x can have all the values of the real numbers. That is, it can have the values of rational number as well as irrational numbers. Means the values of x can be 0, 1, 2, 3, it can be integers, it can be fractions, it can be negative integers, it can be even irrational numbers, that is root 2, root 3, like that. E is called a modulus function. What does that mean? Here it is defined by this. F of x is equal to same. F of x is equal to x if x is greater than equal to 0. What does that mean? If x is equal to 0, then f of x is equal to 0. If x is equal to 1, f of x is equal to 1. If x is equal to 2, f of x is equal to also 2. If x is equal to root 2, f of x is also equal to root 2. Please try to understand here. F of x is equal to x if x is greater than equal to 0. If x is equal to half, then also f of x is equal to half. This is what it means by first part of the definition. Second part is f of x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. Means if x is equal to minus half, then f of x is equal to minus x, that is minus of minus half. So it will be plus half. F of x is equal to plus half. Next, if x is equal to minus 2, then f of x is equal to negative minus of minus 2, that is equal to plus 2. Please note, in all the cases you will notice that f of x is always positive. X can have any value, that is any real number. It can be any real number, it can be integers, it can be irrational number, it can be a fraction. But you will notice that f of x is always a positive real number. F of x is always a positive real number. This is what is the definition of the modulus function. The function from real numbers to real numbers defined by f of x is equal to absolute value of x for every x belonging to real numbers is called a modulus function. Now, if you try to plot the graph of this, we know that this side it is positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. This side it is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. This side it is positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. This is y-axis and that is f of x. This is x-axis, y-axis. Downside we will have negative values. Now please try to understand. Whenever x is 1, f of x is also 1. So whenever x is 1, f of x is 1. Whenever x is 2, f of x is 2. Whenever x is 2, f of x is 2. Whenever x is 3, f of x will also be 3. But if x is negative, if x is minus 1, then we will have minus of minus 1, that is plus 1. We will get the value here. If x is minus 2, we will have minus of minus 2 as f of x. So f of x is equal to minus of minus 2 means it will be positive 2. So positive 2 will be here. Please try to understand. X is minus 2, f of x is positive 2. So this is the point. Now if you try to join these all real numbers, please note I have shown only integers, but x can have all the values of the real numbers. Means it can have any point, on the x-axis. So it can have this value, it can have this value, it can have even root 2's value. So if this is root 2, it will have root 2 only. So please try to understand. Root 2 will come, root 2 means 1.4142, means it will be somewhere here less than 1.5. So you may get it here. You will notice if you plot all these real numbers, then you will get a straight line making a 45-degree angle with the positive direction of x-axis. And if you plot the negative values of the x, then also you will get this is 45 degrees angle, this is 90-degree angle and 90 plus 45 is 135 degrees. So here you will have 135 degree with the positive direction of x-axis. So if you plot all these points, they will be on this line. The negative values. This is the graph of the modulus function. That is, you will get in only first quadrant and second quadrant. Now, domain of this function. Domain is the real numbers. So all real numbers. Domain is equal to set of all real numbers. Set of all real numbers. And range of modulus function. Range is, you will notice that f of x is always positive, it is never negative. Hence, range is positive values, that is, you can say r plus positive values of real numbers. You can say set of positive real numbers. Positive real numbers and 0. Set of positive real numbers and 0. Dear friends, next function is the Signum function. Try to understand. The function from real numbers to real numbers defined by f of x is equal to 1 if x is greater than 0. What does that mean? It is equal to always 1 for all the values of x. Means if x is equal to 2, then x is equal to 1. If x is equal to 3, f of x is equal to 1. If x is equal to 3 by 2, f of x is equal to 1. If x is equal to root 2, f of x is equal to 1. This is what it first statement means. Means f of x is equal to 1 if x is greater than 0. So whenever x is greater than 0, whenever x is a positive number or a fraction or a irrational number but greater than 0, f of x is always equal to 1. Next is, if f of x is equal to 0, f of x is equal to 0 if x is equal to 0. If x is having a 0 value, then f of x will have a 0 value. This is what the second condition means. Then the third condition is, f of x is equal to minus 1 if x is less than 0. If x is equal to minus half, then f of x is equal to minus 1. If x is equal to minus 3 by 2, f of x is equal to minus 1. If f of x is equal to minus 5, x is equal to minus 1. Sorry. If x is equal to, I have written opposite. If x is equal to minus 5, f of x is equal to minus 1. This is what it means. Then the function is called Signum function. If it satisfies this condition, then the function is called Signum function. Please note, earlier we have just before this we have found the modulus function. It is normally used for the finding the absolute values, or you can say the magnitude of any term. Here this is used to find the sign. Hence the name is Signum function. So negative indicates opposite direction and positive indicates the forward direction. Here f of x is equal to this can be written in a simple form. F of x is equal to mod of x upon x, when and x is not equal to 0. For x not equal to 0, we have mod of x upon x, and equal to 0, f of x will be equal to 0 for all the values of x equal to 0. Now let us see whether this and this means one and the same or not. Let us see. If f of x, if x is 2, then f of x is equal to mod of 2 upon 2. Positive value is 2 upon 2, you will get 1. F of x is equal to, if x is equal to 3, we will get, for x is equal to 2, we have got this. For x is equal to 3, we will get mod x, mod of 3 upon 3. This is positive direction. Please note. Positive means 3 upon 3, that is equal to 1. Means this and this means one and the same. Now see, if x is equal to minus 5, we will get f of x is equal to minus 5 mod of minus 5 upon minus 5. Now we know that mod of minus 5 is positive 5, absolute value of negative 5 is 5, and negative 5 as it is. So this 5 cancels with 5, you will get a minus 1. Please try to understand this. If x is having a negative value, we get f of x is equal to minus 1. So whether you write in this way or in this way, it means one and the same. This function is called as signum function. Now let us try to understand what will be the graph of this. To understand the graph, please note, here we have written the value. The function from real numbers to real numbers means x can have all the values of the real numbers. X will have all the values of real numbers. This is x axis, this is y axis. X will have all real values means it can have negative values, it can have positive values, it can have irrational values, it can have rational values. That is, x is a real number. Now see, whenever x is positive, whenever x is greater than 0, f of x is equal to this y is equal to f of x will be equal to 1. So this is 1. So whenever x is 1, we will have 1. Whenever x is 2, we will have 1. Whenever x is 3, we have 1. Whenever x is half, we have. Whenever x is root 2, we have again 1. Please note, if you make a line, we will get a straight line. Please note here. See, if x is 0, f of x is 0. Here, this x is 0, f of x will be 0 here and not this value. To indicate this, what we do is, we make a bubble. It means x equal to 0 value is not included. Please try to understand this bubble. I hope everybody is able to see this. I have made a small hole in this. I have made a small circle. From this you indicate that x cannot have the value of 0 and y this coordinate is not included and this coordinate is included. So for all x greater than 0, we will have f of x is equal to 1. For x equal to 0, we will have f of x also 0. And for x less than 0, for x less than 1, sorry, x less than 0 means for negative values of x. If it is negative 1, we will get a minus 1. If it is negative 2, we will get negative 1. If it is negative 3, we will get a negative 1. Means if you plot this, we will get the answer something like this. But please note again, 0 is not included. This can be indicated by drawing a small circle. So for all values of real numbers, signum function can be shown on the graph in this way. Please note, domain of this set will be domain. X can have all the values of the real numbers. Means it is a domain is a set of. It is a set of all real numbers. Set of all real numbers. And range. Please note, range only 3 values are there. That is positive 1, negative 1, 0 and positive 1. So range includes only 3 values, negative 1, 0 and positive 1. And domain will have all the values of real numbers.